You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
With this whole battle of this shooting in El Paso too, but Odessa, that happened this weekend. You know, this 36-year-old Japheth boy driving, and shooting people. This is talking about drive-by shooting. This boy put I think he's trying to take a page out of the Bloods and the Crips, techniques out there in Los Angeles. Driving and shooting, as in driving by people and shooting, and 7 people are dead. I think it made 8 with him, with the troopers finally taking him down. And so, I mean, this whole business of shooting. Then there was El Paso the other day, the guy who drove from Dallas to El Paso and shot up in a Walmart the other day. They remember that guy killed 22 people over there. And Texas, and that crippled judge, Greg Abbott, signed into law an opportunity for everybody to carry guns. I mean, everybody already in Texas, everybody's lousy with guns down there. Going down there, everybody looks like the Wild Wild West. So many people carrying guns down there in Texas. And now he said you can carry them in churches, in schools, hospitals. This guy, Greg Abbott, is going berserk and that law went into effect just the other day, right after this fella, whatever his name is, I think his name is ATLAH or something. ATLAH. I don't know how to pronounce it, don't really care. He's dead anyway. And he killed a whole lot of people. Shot a baby too, 17-month-old baby, a 15-year-old girl, 57-year-old man, driving around like a madman. And I'll tell you one thing, I can say this right now. You can bet your bottom dollar. If a black man did that, if a Hamite brother got in a pickup truck and started shooting white folk, they kill everybody black. They make everybody black pay for that. Imagine a Hamite brother going into a Walmart with an AR-15, right, just shooting indiscriminately at a Walmart. They go get his mama, they get his sister, they'd execute everybody. They put the Klan on him. Everybody be looking for him. They get everybody. Where were you born? What country did you come from? What's your bloodline? They'll do Ancestry.com on that boy if a Hamite brother did that. But these white boys, they do this all the time. Anyway, I want to say this, that I think it's important that we realize now it's time to stop gun sales. The hell with the NRA. The hell with the NRA. The hell with the... I mean, come on now. Come on. What is this anyway? That the NRA is so powerful. You go to Sandy Hook, 26 school children, little babies were shot in the head by that idiot up there in Connecticut. And still, you can't even get a universal background check. This don't make no sense. I think this is the sickest thing I've ever seen white people do. Well, I don't know if that takes us. The Japheth people. Black people have done some sick stuff too. But this is sick. This is like, you can't get no kind of gun legislation. They can kill babies. These same NRA freaks talking about my Second Amendment right. Yeah, I got your second. These same NRA freaks run around talking about how bad abortion is. Yet that boy went up there in Sandy Hook and killed all them babies, shot them all in the head, and that's okay. For him, don't you touch my Second Amendment. And they can listen. I think Dave Chappelle said it best. Dave Chappelle said, the only way you're going to get them to put an end to all gun sales in America and to finally stop anybody from having guns is for every black person to register to get one. I guess y'all didn't get that as a joke. Because, if all black folk got guns, they're going to say, wait a minute, now we can't have this. But look at what these Japheth boys are doing with these guns. I know many of y'all are NRA people. You just need to get your act together. You just need to get your act together. Because the Second Amendment, actually, I could parse, I'm no lawyer, but I could parse the Second Amendment to the point. It doesn't mean that everybody, it said for a well-equipped militia. So okay, they said, well, everybody got to have a gun. So when Paul Revere comes riding through town at night and saying the communists are coming or people from Harlem are coming, to Lexington, Kentucky, I say I'm in Alabama, where people from Harlem are coming, everybody can get their guns and they run out there in their boots and their pajamas and stop the people from Harlem. Well, actually, for people from Harlem, come and be a bunch of gay people. And the gays don't carry no guns. Ain't that a scream? Oh, God, Harlem done turned gay. Oh, God, Nassau went funky and Harlem gone gay. Anyway, so, but I'm so seriously, I mean, it's time to stop gun sales. I'm just, forget about the universal background check. Stop the sales altogether. And then, so what about people, because there are already more than, for every American, there's at least 7 guns out there. You got to confiscate them because they'll keep on selling and trading them and they keep on shooting. There's enough, listen, there's enough guns, and this is what JFIT people, not black people. Black people got guns too, the Saturday Night Special, and black people shoot people, there's no doubt about it. We saw what went on in Chicago the whole time Obama was president. We've seen what went on in Chicago and Los Angeles with drive-by shit. We know black people got guns, but they ain't got no guns like these JFIT boys. They got, I mean, you talk that. Black people ain't got that. They got little cap pistols. These JFIT boys carry these little great big flamethrowers. I swear, every time I see a JFIT boy, if I'm driving along the highway, and I look at this JFIT boy in a great big old Ram truck, a Dodge Silverado or something, I wonder if he also got a gun. The white boy look at me. I look the other way. Hell, I go run into the police officer. Let me find. I speed so the police officer can stop me, get me away from this JFIT boy. You probably got a gun in that truck. I swear, I bet you every one of them you see got a gun in the truck. No, listen. No, it's time to stop gun sales in America. It is. No, it is. Well, then you got to confiscate guns. Do that too. No, I mean, because this don't make no sense. It's killing innocent people. You don't know when it's going to happen to you. You just don't know when it's going. And it happens in schools. One of the things you can be sure of, though, this is a white people's disease. And then the NRA. Here comes Wayne LaPierre, who got this $6 million house down there in Dallas, Texas. The NRA bought this boy a $6 million mansion down there and outside of Dallas. And he went on a shopping spree. Xenia suits out there in Los Angeles, spent $40,000 in one day. He probably didn't get about 5 or 6 suits because some Xenias, those bad boys, cost a lot of money. And Italian suits, right? It don't make him look no better. I don't know why he wear them. He don't look no better. Look at him. Yeah, he's a Wayne LaPierre. They're running out of money. And so I think that the issue is that I think he's kind of confiscated all that money he bought. The NRA, so you belong to the NRA. This is the kind of house you just bought for Wayne LaPierre. You bought that house for that boy, paying your dues. And then I think his wife travels around with her own group of beauty. His wife, Wayne LaPierre's wife, they're going to Santa Barbara, they're leaving Dallas and going to, Los Angeles or going someplace. She has a private plane just for her cosmetologist people. People fix up her wig and put on that makeup, put that paint on that woman's face, do her nails. They got their own private plane. That's the kind of money that's in there floating around in the NRA. But your dues. No, I think that, and I believe this can be done in a way that, first of all, it needs to be, people need to start standing up in the pulpits, and I don't call these Baptist groups churches anymore because they ain't churches, and then African Methodists ain't churches neither, and just need to reinterpret the NAA, the Second Amendment to the Constitution, that you have a right to bear arms if you belong to a militia, and then I think we ought to legislate who is a militia and who ain't a militia. you know, and if you ain't a militia, then you don't own it, you can't own a gun, you know. And I think police officers ought to be, you know, police officers, they like to shoot too, but, you know, police officers drive up, you got to stop. You like had to stop this guy, this. What's this boy's name anyway? ATLAH? What is his name? The police officer, the Texas Public Safety Department guy pulled him over, and he shot him. Police officers have no idea. This Department of Public Safety trooper, they have no idea who they're stopping. I can tell you, if he's driving a truck and he's white, let him go. Don't stop him. Just let him go. Go arrest somebody black. So these white boys will shoot you. But the other thing is that the white police officer stopped the black boy and they shoot them. We got trouble over here. We got real trouble. If the police officer stops the white man in the truck, the white man in the truck shoots the police officer. If the police officer stops the black man, you know, in a BMW, the police officer shoots the man black. Okay, all right, okay, all right. I'm ready to call for the end of gun sales in America. We didn't have it. It went down there, where was it? In Sutherland, Texas, right? And a Baptist church one Sunday morning in Sutherland, Texas, right? In a church. The guy goes in, kills 26 people, point blanks, put a bullet in a baby's head in his mama's arms. And that Baptist church going back a couple of years ago. Y'all remember that? This don't make no sense. I mean, I watched this debate. Universal background check. Universal background check. Here, listen, let me tell y'all something, just in case, pull your coat. In case you don't know, a universal background check ain't gonna stop the criminal if he wants to get a gun. They don't go by the law. You can put all the laws you want. As long as there are guns out there, the criminal's gonna get them. I mean, you know, it doesn't make any sense for a civilized group of people to be this hung up on guns. I mean, what is it with these white boys? They like to take guns that way. They went to the moon. They took guns to the moon. What you gonna shoot up there on the moon? They took guns to them just in case. Well, what you gonna shoot in the moon? You don't need them. You don't need them. And then they got these flamethrower guns that, you know, everybody knows it. They say, well, these are weapons of war. We need to take these off street. You know, you need to take the 38s and the 45s and the Glock 9s or whatever. You need to take them off street too. You know, but yeah, I'm saying this. Let me tell you something. I'm saying this because I'm not going to hide what's in my heart. That's what I feel. But it ain't going to happen. There ain't no way. Listen, I'm telling you, there is such a gun sickness. I mean, we're talking about sick people in America. And by the way, Trump talking about bringing people in from Norway. It was over there in Norway where that boy went in that camp one day. That white boy went in there, all them white people in that camp over there or in Norway, and shot and killed 71 people, white people, killing white people, white boy killing white people, children in the camp, right? This is the white people's disease. Now you done gone, why you got to, well, I can call you Japheth with your tied tongue, uneducated self. If I say Japheth, you don't know who I'm talking about. I got to go to a whole class to tell you what Japheth is, so I got to use white. What's wrong with saying white people? Well, the way you say white boy, it make me think you got something up your sleeve. I do. But no, this is, you know, we could talk. Listen, when I remember when I was telling y'all about what was going on in Chicago, they were killing 30 and 40 people a weekend in Chicago, right? You ain't having a problem with that. That's y'all, that's the mentality, you know. But, you know, I think sociologically, I think if a psychiatrist looks at the violence of the two groups, let's say the Hamite people, that's black folk, and the Japheth people, that's the white. The Jewish people, they don't shoot nothing. You ever notice about Jews? You know, I mean, some Jews do carry guns, don't get me wrong. Jews carry law degrees. That's what they do. and they own banks. What they do, they redline your butt. They make you wish you hadn't been shot. Anyway, but no, this is something that psychiatrists and sociologists ought to look and discover. You sit down with these boys in Tennessee, right? Say, why you got to have a gun? Well, they're the second amendment to the Constitution. We had a well-formed militia and everybody has the right to carry a gun. And you can't take away my constitutional right to have a weapon. So, I mean, okay, we understand that. It's in the Constitution. But are you a part of a militia? Well, I don't know. Dr. Manning may bring some of the boys out of Harlem now. I ain't been talking about I pick up trucks. He'll bring them boys. He come down, we'll bust a cap on Dr. Manning, and his boys out of Harlem, he come down here. So, is that the reason why you're going? Well, I don't know. You never know. The Russians may be coming. We don't know. Well, I understand that y'all particularly don't like the Jewish people, but Jewish people don't shoot people. They don't care. They don't, they carry law degrees. So who are you going to shoot? Well, so so you can say to them, look at the brother in the face, and say, who y'all shoot? Y'all shoot each other. Y'all actually go out there and shoot each other in schools, and in churches, and in shopping malls. You kill each other. Y'all don't even shoot black people. I mean, it'd be one thing if y'all were shooting black people, we could have understand you're venting your racism. Okay, well, it ain't right, but we can understand. Y'all shoot each other. So we have some sort of a scale where we're looking at the international or national sciences of psychiatrists and psychologists and counselors as to what's the sickest disease, who's the sickest people, in terms of gun violence. You Japheth boys would take y'all would win. You mean y'all would win over Chicago? You would win over Los Angeles and drive by? You would. Because at least, the people shooting one another in Chicago are mad at each other about something. He stole his money, was gambling, drug deals went bad, so he shoot him. His drug deal went bad. Y'all just shoot. You don't even know who you're shooting. You don't even care. Women, children, babies, it don't matter. You just shoot anybody. It's time for this to stop. So forget about this talk about universal background. What the hell is they going to do with anything? When I was in the street, I don't do that no more. I don't do that. But you can check my background all you want. I didn't go to the place where they do background checks to buy guns. And nobody else who wants to be a criminal is going to, So I think over there in London, they don't even let the police officers have guns, the bobbies, right? They carry billy sticks, but they don't carry guns because they don't let them, the people don't have guns. This is really a sickness in America that, and I know a lot of people feel that, but you need to evaluate yourself. Why is it that you got to have a gun? You have a gun now, right? 99% of the people have a gun. What are you gonna do with it? You ever shot anybody? Has your home ever been broken into? Well, just in case. Just in case what? Well, you never know. Okay, so now you're what? You're 75, you're 70 years old, right? How long have you owned a gun? And have you ever had to shoot anybody? Has anybody ever attempted to rob you? Listen, the only reasonable reason any psychiatrist, counselor, psychosociologist, and others would state that everybody ought to be able to bear arms is because the people who now got guns like to kill people indiscriminately. Like that boy up there in Dayton, Ohio, or LA, like that boy went over there in San Diego and Sandy Hook and killed them children. Like that boy that went down there in Sutherland, Texas and killed all them people in that church down there in Sutherland. Like that boy that drove out there and killed it up there at the Tree of Life Synagogue and killed them Jews up there in Pittsburgh. Like that boy killed down there people down there in El Paso. The only reason why you need a gun is because of people like that. But if you take all guns and you ought to be, confiscate them. New York City Police Department under one of them, I don't know if it was mayor or who it was, somebody, Bloomberg I think it was. Who was mayor before Bloomberg? That they had a gun buyback, right? Was Giuliani? No, it wasn't. It was, yeah, it may have been. They had a gun buyback where they bought all the guns in Harlem. Brownsville, I think they was having a contest to see which part of the black community had more guns. It was a contest between Harlem, Brownsville, East New York, South Bronx. I think Brownsville won. And I think they get like $150 for a gun. Young boys was stealing their father's guns and going to the police, $150, gonna buy myself a new pair of Nikes. Daddy went looking for his gun, he got mad with somebody the other day, went looking for his gun, his son had already sold it to the popo. They've done that in several cities. They ought to do that with white folks. I think you could fix the budget. I think, if there was a gun buyback and down in Tennessee, South Carolina, Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, and especially Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, if it was a gun buyback, it would fix the deficit in the budget. Because these people got more, they just sold that guns are worth more than gold. I'm going on record, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but they know I always tell the truth. And they know I'm the Lord's servant, which is the other thing. That we just need to stop gun sales altogether. It's just, I don't know any of these people that got killed, but I mourn for them. I mourn for their families. And it doesn't make any sense that something is awful that the NRA has got this much more power. Even Tribulation Trump himself. One thing I give Tribulation Trump, and I don't give him much, but I'll give him this. He wants to end gun sales too, but every time he goes up there and talks to that Wayne LaPierre boy and a couple of them other, gun totals in Congress, they tell him if you just forget about confiscating all guns. He said if you just think about initiating in Congress, you tell Mitch McConnell to initiate a background check, we're gonna cut your presidency off right now at the knees. And Trump backs down. 2 occasions, Trump has said, okay, I'm for universal background checks. And I don't know if that's going to do any good. It isn't. Because criminals don't care about that. Nobody cares about it. He don't care, the criminals. And these boys, these shooters, right? They already got guns. The shooters already, the people who are going to shoot for the next 20 years, all these young Japheth boys that are going to shoot they already got their gun. They don't have the background check. They already got their gun. They already got the ammo. They're already ready. They just didn't decide to start shooting yet. But so a universal background check ain't going to stop the man that's already armed to the teeth. He got 25 guns in his house. What about that guy out there in Las Vegas the other year? Killed them 50 people and shot over 500 over there and don't even know why he did it. He was rich. He broke out the window, one of the exclusive hotels, and just started shooting. It brought in 2 bags full of guns and just shooting people out there in Los Angeles, Las Vegas the other year. They don't even know why he did it. They said that it's been 5 years, they haven't figured out why they don't nobody know. He just liked to shoot people. I can tell you why he did it. Don't ask him why he did it. It's in the blood system of some of these JV people. They just like to shoot people. Put them out there in a rabbit, run across the field, they can't even shoot a rabbit with a shotgun. By the way, you don't use shotguns on rabbits. I used to shoot a .22 rifle and a shotgun too. 10 gauge, 12 gauge, with a 12 gauge shotgun, 12 gauge, and a 10 gauge too, I think. No, it doesn't make any sense. So this is one of the sickest things about America. But check this out. It's Japheth people sickness because, again, I am not in any way covering up for all of the people that have been killed by guns by Hamite brothers. So they do shoot, they do kill one another. They kill children too. They do. And one of the things that you Hamite brothers might want to get behind me on this one, because if all guns are confiscated, we ain't gonna have this much time. First, this ain't gonna never happen. All this stuff I'm telling you about ain't gonna never happen. I'm just talking. I know it ain't gonna never happen. I'm just talking. I figure y'all listening, I might as well talk. It ain't gonna never happen. You ain't gonna never become a billionaire. They ain't gonna never confiscate guns. But I would say this, that, a police stop a Hamite brother, right? The popo stop you. Well, you figure he thinks you got a gun because, all black people carry guns, right? It isn't true, but most people think, just like I say, all these Japheth boys in these trucks carry guns. This, I said, I pull in the gas station, there's a Japheth boy filling up his truck, and the gas, I move on down the line now. I don't know what this boy gonna do. He might have a gun with him or something. But the police feel that same way about all Hamite brothers. If they stop you, they think you got a gun. So if all guns are confiscated, then we won't see so many shootings of Hamite people, right? And that means more Hamite people are gonna live. That means that boy ain't gonna be shot until he's 17, 19, 20 years old. That means he's gonna make more babies. I mean, he's gonna have more babies. His baby's gonna make grandbabies. His grandbaby's gonna make grandbabies. It'll go overpopulate the earth because we stopped gun sales. Then more black people gonna be born and less black people dying because we stopped gun sales, right? At any rate, I think that seriously, America needs to look at this. And I think fathers and mothers need to sit down with their sons, because most of these people that are shooters are still living at home with their parents at 50 years of age. Most of them, except for that boy out there in Las Vegas the other day. Most of these people are still living at home. So I think a responsible thing for parents to do is say, listen, son, you got to get rid of them guns. Sell them to Dr. Manning up there in Harlem. Listen, son, you can't have them guns in the house, all right? Now, if you're gonna have them guns, and I know where you got them, I know you got them hidden everywhere, I know how many you got, I wanna see every last one of them, and we're gonna sell the guns, and we're gonna send the money to the gourmet breakfast program up there at the ATLAH Church. Pastor Manning is gonna use that money from those gun sales to feed them children up there in Harlem. That's what we're gonna do. Man, listen, if that really happened and people start saying, okay, the purpose for selling our guns will be to send the money to the gourmet breakfast program up there at the ATLAH Church in Harlem, so feed them children every morning. They come, all them school children come in that building, we can feed them. That would be a good and a noble cause. It would be. And I could feed a whole lot of children with that gun money. I could feed a whole lot of children. Because some of them guns cost $4,000 and $5,000, especially them flamethrowers. They call them AR-15. Those things are flamethrowers. So I'm suggesting that would take place. And parents, if your son is living in your house, they got all them guns in his bedroom, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. I believe that when if they arrest the boy, they ought to arrest the parents too, as conspirators and co-conspirators to the mass killings. Well, this has got to stop. And you people that believe that somehow or another that the NRA is some sort of God-given righteous group, it's just a few people out there promoting that this is so significant, and the militia is and that the right to bear arms. And so there's a few people out there promoting, and they got plenty of money. They're spending plenty of money promoting this myth. It's not necessary, and even if it were, it's so. Reasonable, logical, humane people would say, wait a minute. The bad about this outweighs the good, and the good is suffering because of the bad of this. And if I vote against the NRA and the NRA people can save one precious life, I'm talking to you now, because you say you NRA died in the war, right? You NRA and you mad at me now because I'm saying all gun sales need to stop. But think about this for just a second. Think about this for just a second. If you would stand up and say, to hell with the NRA, all gun sales need to stop. If that you standing up and save one life of a father that can raise his children and his grandchildren, he will not be shot down. Or a 5-year-old little redhead boy, red hair, 5 years old, went to school that day looking to have fun with his friends, with his red hair. He went to school that day looking to have fun and just loves to go to school. His teacher likes him as the pet. He's only 5 years old. He went to school, and a man and somebody came in and shot him in the head. Would you stop? Would you give up guns to save that one boy's life, or would you say it's worth it for him to die so you can keep being a member of the NRA? Would you? Do you think that boy's life is worth more than your supporting of the NRA and these crooks that run the NRA? Now, come on. And all these gun freaks. Isn't that redhead little boy who went to school that day to have fun with his friend? Isn't his life more important than that malarkey? You talk about a right to bear arms. Don't you think that boy's life, he has the right to live more than his right to live is more important than your right to bear arms? I mean, come on, let's get real about this. What the hell are y'all talking about out there? What the hell is it with y'all? What is it with y'all? I mean, how inhumane can y'all be? A 17-month-old baby was shot by this freak out there in Odessa, and a 15-year-old girl was 15 years old. Dead because you say, we got my Second Amendment right. Your Second Amendment right shouldn't mean that people should lose their lives indiscriminately. What the hell is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Your value system is twisted. You think like a bunch of savages. Well, I got it. And then the other thing is, this is the real sick thing. So you say, well, I need a gun just in case somebody breaks into my house. Okay. I need a gun just in case somebody tries to rob me. Okay, all right. But why the hell do you need 15 guns? All you need is one. Why you got 15? And you got flamethrowers in your house as well. You got all kinds of guns. If you're going to stop one robber, why do you need 15 guns? Sick. 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 So white people sickness too. You don't need an AR-15, 12-gauge shotgun, 45s, Glock 9s, all that to stop somebody who's going to break into your house. You're lying. You're sick. And you need to go see a psychiatrist. You NRA, and you got a problem. You need to talk to Jesus. That's what you need. You need to talk to Jesus. I'm going to tell you, that redhead boy, that little boy with that red hair, who had that bullet rip half of his head off him up there in Sandy Hook, Jesus loved that boy. And you could stand up and say, well, I didn't pull the trigger, but I didn't give that boy who pulled the trigger the right to pull the trigger. His right to have a gun. You need to think about that. Meanwhile, Wayne LaPierre living in a $6 million house out there, and his wife, her beautician, flies around in a private plane. And hell, you can't get on the bus. You're scraping up money to buy gas. And Wayne LaPierre's wife, on your dues, is flying around her not forget about her cosmetologist, her makeup person is flying around in a private jet, living in the suites of the hotels, just so you put that makeup on that witch. And what she got to do with anything? She ain't the president of the NAACP. I mean, the NAACP. What the hell am I, the NAACP? The NRA. This is sick. It's white people sickness, I'll tell you that. There you go, racist again. Why can't you just, I mean, you know, if I say black people, I'm okay, right? Everything's good, it's all good, it's all good. If I say black people, I say white people, all of a sudden you gonna get your feathers and your panties all in a bunch. What's wrong with you? I say, well, stop gun sales. I think it'll stop young black boys from getting shot by the police. Popo stop and say he ain't got no gun, because all the guns have been sold. He can live, have babies, babies have grandbabies, and then overpopulate the earth. And then we'll all die from starvation because there ain't no food. At any rate, everybody, It's time to end this gun business in America, and let's get on to something more humane. I'm James David Manning, everybody. Hate me if you like, but I'm the Lord's servant, and don't you ever forget it. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.